Groupthink is a psychological phenomenon that occurs within a group of people in which the desire for harmony or conformity in the group results in an irrational or dysfunctional decision-making outcome. Cohesiveness, or the desire for cohesiveness, in a group may produce a tendency among its members to agree at all costs. This causes the group to minimize conflict and reach a consensus decision without critical evaluation. Groupthink is a construct of social psychology, but has an extensive reach and influences literature in the fields of communication studies, political science, management, and organizational theory, as well as important aspects of deviant, religious, cult behavior. Groupthink is sometimes stated to occur within natural groups within the community. For example, to explain the lifelong different mindsets of those with differing political views, such as conservatism and liberalism in the US political context, or the purported benefits of teamwork versus work conducted in solitude. However, this conformity of viewpoints within a group does not mainly involve deliberate group decision-making and might be better explained by the collective confirmation bias of the individual members of the group. Groupthink requires individuals to avoid raising controversial issues or alternative solutions, and there is loss of individual creativity, uniqueness, and independent thinking. The dysfunctional group dynamics of the in-group produces an illusion of invulnerability, an inflated certainty that the right decision has been made. Thus, the in-group significantly overrates its own abilities and decision-making and go along with the crowd in fear of rocking the boat. Furthermore, groupthink can produce dehumanizing actions against the outgroup. Group interactions tend to favour clear and harmonious agreements, and it can be a cause of concern when little to no new innovations or arguments for better policies, outcomes and structures are called to question. Groupthink can often be referred to as a group of yes men, because group activities and group projects in general make it extremely easy to pass on not offering constructive opinions. Some methods that have been used to counteract groupthink in the past is selecting teams from more diverse backgrounds, and even mixing men and women in groups. Groupthink can be considered by many to be a detriment to companies, organisations, and in any work situations. So, okay, groupthink. So, are you a free thinker? Do you think for yourself? Are you somebody who, when you find out a bit of information, goes off and has a look, does some research? Or do you just go to the closest source, like the television, or your mate, who thinks the same as you, and you all agree together? You all look at the news, and you all listen to what's being told, and you all nod your heads, and you're all on the same page. That's groupthink. It means you're all thinking the same thoughts. Nobody is thinking for themselves. There's a lot of nasty things said to people who tend to think for themselves. People who don't accept what is told them. These are the people who aren't subject to groupthink. These are the people who go and research for themselves. And then when they find out things that don't fit in with the groupthink thinking, they take it back and they say, well, I'm not too sure about this. And immediately all the groupthink people all turn on them and they say, what do you mean you're not sure about it? We all think it's right, don't we? And then they turn back at the group, and the group all nod in agreement, because nobody wants to stand out of line. Nobody wants to be the one who's not wearing a mask on the street. Nobody wants to be the one who's approached and to have to explain themselves. The groupthink people stay in their group and nod their heads. They watch the news and they agree. They don't question. They might see that things are wrong. They might get an inkling that, hang on, this isn't right. But when they look around and see the rest of the group, they're okay, they're still nodding their heads. They think, well, everything must be okay, everybody else is okay, they're all still agreeing with it. They're all still wearing their masks and washing their hands, and they don't seem to think there's anything wrong with what's being said. So they carry on with the groupthink. Or the people who aren't subject to groupthink carry on researching and finding out information. So the more they try to tell the groupthink people what they're finding out, the more the groupthink people stick together. They don't want to be the one to put their hand up and stand out of line. They don't want to. They can't.